I've decided I'm going to do a bike check, introduce you to another one of my my toys, and this one is a particular favourite of mine. I don't even use this bike that much. It is definitely a bit of a luxury, but I don't have too many luxuries in my life, so I just think, sod it. Say hello to my 2016 Scott Voltage FR710, and she's a bit of a weapon, really. Bought her about 6 months ago, and she's just specced, massively specced. The guy I bought it off had barely used it, to be honest, genuinely. I know everybody always says that, but you could tell that he barely used it. It's showing much more signs of wear now, and I haven't even used it that much. But that's because I'm not very good at cleaning. But I haven't really done a lot to it since I got it. The only thing I have done is, well, in fact, when I first bought it, for those who know what Scott Voltage FR710 is, it's like it's one step below a downhill bike. So it is pedalable. Hence, it's got a dropper on it. That's not a standard. The guy who owned it before me put it on, but it's a useful addition because the bike is pedalable, and it's perfect for bike parks because you can go around the blues, you can go around the reds, but then you can really smash for downhills as well. Well, I probably can't, but you know, somebody who can do that sort of thing, I'll have a go. But it's like riding a Rolls Royce. I love it, absolutely love it. When I go to Bike Park Wales or Forest of Dean or something like that, I just pack it, and it's just so good. It gives you so much confidence. You can go so much faster on it, and yeah, that's what it is. It's confidence. It just makes you feel like you can do more, and it pushes your riding on. I was a little bit deluded when I got it because I really tried to turn it into an enduro bike. Put a 32 front sprocket on it. And it comes as standard with a 3615 cassette or something, and that suggests that, you know, it's intended to pedal uphill, whereas obviously downhill bikes come with very shallow cassettes, which I've never understood. Why, with a downhill bike, what's the point in having like 8 or 9 gears that are basically the same size? I've never really understood that. You might as well just have a single speed. Or one of these. More importantly, I think one of these is much more useful, because some downhill bikes are becoming fairly pedalable. It's got a lovely upgrade of Hope Tech-free E4 brakes. Mega bikes, never had Hope brakes before. They're just amazing. 4-pot calipers, and the engineering on them is just fantastic, although one of them is actually binding on at the moment after my trip to Bike Park Wales. I fitted an air shock. It had the Fox. God, I can't remember the model number, but the top bollocks coil shock from Fox, the factory Fox shock, with the factory 180/36 forks as standard, which are just amazing. And check out those Kashima stanchions, man. Lovely. But yeah, I really wanted the X2 factory, but I couldn't find one that anybody was willing to swap. So I've gone for the X2 performance shock. The only difference is it doesn't have high and low speed compression. It just has standard. High and low speed compression and rebound. It doesn't have any of those. It just has your standard compression and rebound adjustments. Which for me is absolutely fine to ride, but it's a considerable weight saver, and it's really adjustable as well. You can adjust the travel from 170 to 190. You can adjust the wheelbase. You can adjust the head angle. I'm running it in the mid setting at the moment, which I think is 74 degrees, but you can run it at 72 degrees, and you can run it at 76 degrees with changing these cups. Okay, so they say it will run as steep as the Genius and as slack as the Gambler in the Scott range, which is pretty amazing, really. It's a lot of bike, and I just absolutely love riding it, but I don't ride it that much. It's worth pointing out as well, this mudguard, it came with the bike. It's just been absolutely fantastic in all this weather conditions. It really saved my day at Bike Park Wales because I couldn't wear my goggles. Not because they were steaming up, because they were just getting wet. So I ditched them. But this mudguard just saved 95% of all kind of splashes. Whereas the guys I was riding with were really suffering. But yeah, check out this calipers. Beautiful. Really need to clean these things a bit more. Came with the nice beige Renthal fat bar bars. I did put these grips on actually. They're a bit worn out, these ones. I'm not even convinced that they really go with it. They're superstar grips, just some I had kicking around the garage. But they just feel nicer than the ones I had on there. I can't remember which ones are on there. But these forks, these do have the high and the low speed compression and rebound adjust. So they are more of a DH fork because there's no pedal setting or anything like that. Quite why you'd want a pedal setting on forks anyway, I have no idea, because let's face it, if you're going to lock those out, the bars are just going to be really high, and that's what you don't want for climbing, surely. Maybe I'm missing something there. And there's no pedal setting on the rear shot, which is it'd be nice to have one actually, but I mentioned earlier that I was trying to turn this bike into an enduro bike unsuccessfully, because the one thing that stops it being an enduro bike is its weight. It is a bit of a beast, and there's no way I can keep up with my mates on their enduro bikes and XC bikes and stuff on this. So it was either sell it and get an enduro bike, or just buy another bike, and that's what I did. So I bought a trail bike, and I'll do a bike check on that at some point. Which I really like actually. Bought it off my mate, and it's exactly the same colour, ironically, but it pedals really, really well. Much better than this, really. But this is just my baby, really. I just love this bike. The retail for this bike is in 2000. So you can get it a bit cheaper now, I think, the latest model. But the latest model doesn't have the same specs. I mean, this was the top spec model, and I'm pretty sure the retail was about 3.6 back in 2016. If you add to that the dropper, the bars, and the brakes, the retail for it is well in excess of £4,000. I never thought I'd be riding a bike around that's worth more than £4,000. Obviously it's not worth that, but I certainly didn't pay anywhere near that for it. But yeah, I love it. It's cool.